So we're going to talk about the war against Iran right now, and literally the most dangerous thing about it is that everyone thinks they have time, but this is actually the problem, because each party thinks that they can escalate just enough to gain leverage, retaliate just enough to send a message, absorb just enough loss to maintain legitimacy, and hold back just enough to avoid total war. They all think the line hasn't been crossed yet, but history is shaped by moments where everybody miscalculates simultaneously. See, we're going to walk through all these little we still have time moments that each country's going through, because Israel thinks that we can bomb deep into Iran and they'll stop just short of drawing Hezbollah fully in. The U.S. will cover us diplomatically. We can manage a multi-front conflict like we always do. But people need to understand in relation to this, into this line of thought, is that one full Hezbollah invasion changes everything. The Iron Dome won't hold forever, and world opinion is shifting. There's a limit to U.S. appetite for war, and I haven't seen anybody pro it. Iran thinks if we bleed them enough, they'll back off. Well, our nuclear facilities are hardened. They can't destroy them all. Hezbollah is our ace. Unplayed. We still got this. The world sees us as the victim now. This is what we've always wanted. A decisive Israeli-U.S. strike could set them back decades. If they overplay Hezbollah or strike too hard on civilians, global sympathy will flip in a handbeat. And see, here's the thing. The U.S., especially under Trump, is thinking like this. We can flex muscle, win an election, and pull back. No boots on the ground means no real war to people. And Iran won't retaliate directly against us, but Iran can retaliate via proxies, cyber attacks, strategic oil disruptions. I could come up with a few right now. It's literally that easy. A single U.S. aircraft carrier sinking is an irreversible threshold. And there's two over there. People need to get how serious this is, right? But this is the precipice phase for all of these systems, because it's where institutions continue to perform normal operations while spiritually, socially, and militarily disintegrating. It's not denial. I can just point to it right now. Financial markets staying open while missiles fly, that's a hyper-controlled performance. Leaders giving press conferences as if there'll still be a next election, that's a hyper-controlled performance. You got to get it. Civilians still planning vacations, believing they won't really do it. The fact you had to ask. You see what I mean? Because this type of stress, you don't get the rupture when people panic. That's not what it is. It's when they still believe they don't need to. And you can see this reflected directly in the way that, in the way this is looking. Because I feel like we're in the middle of pre-World War I conditions. Everybody thought World War I would last a few months. No one thought a single assassination could spiral into trench warfare. I'm just saying. Poland, Hitler invaded. Britain hesitates. Maybe this time it stops here. It didn't. I'm just saying. Literally, markets kept trading until they they could still unwind positions in 2008 until they couldn't. I'm just talking from what it is. The Israel-Iran war has passed from narrative warfare, proxy warfare, cyber warfare. Now we're at kinetic, bombing each other's actual homeland. The war, what's left after this? The war enters a stage where reversals aren't even possible, because not even because the leaders are evil, but because the machine of war is a self-driving engine, because everybody still thinks they have time. like everybody still thinks they have time because they're not dead yet, because they haven't seen the mass body bags yet, because they still have electricity and Wi-Fi to get to scroll, because they still think there's a next move, maybe. And maybe there's still a story to be salvaged, right? But let's go deeper into the other side of this, because this is narrative warfare too. Right. For anybody who got to participate last time, that was great, lovely. I got to see everything. It was wonderful. But before that missile strikes, before the retaliations, before the policy briefs, but there's war stories, right? There's a war of them. There's a war of stories going on. A war of who started it, who deserved it, who's human, who gets to grieve, whose death counts, and who's allowed to care. See, you're feeling helpless, but you're not actually powerless. You're just inside of a perceptual battlefield right now. That's all it is, and that's not passive. It's just what narrative warfare actually looks like for you. See, and one thing that people need to understand in order to do this properly is to not let the algorithm tell you who to cry for, because the feed will be engineered, right? It will show one side's destruction, hide the other, drown you in helpless loops, create rage fatigue. You'll even get tired of being angry, and it'll reduce atrocity into content. And that's not propaganda. That's just entropy as performance. You need to seek independent journalists, read from multiple global sources, and check what you're seeing, but deeper than that, check what you're not seeing. Right? Presence is resistance to curation altogether. And words matter, because what you're going to hear is strike, not bombing, because the word war is not neutral. You're going to hear elimination, not assassination. You're going to hear response, not escalation. You're going to hear regime, not government. You're going to hear terror, not trauma. But what we need to notice is who gets the human verbs, who gets passive nouns. Who is always starting? Who is always retaliating? This isn't about picking sides. It's about not being fed one, right? Because the feed is going to feed you one thing. I need y'all to catch it right, because there's going to be this frame of justification. War wants you to pick a side between they had no choice and they deserved it. Both are traps, because we need to ask who built the conditions that made this inevitable. Who profits from the delay, right? That 2-week delay that they had, that they was going to decide and then did it anyway halfway through the decision cycle. Who profited from that delay? That's a good question. Who bleeds either way? There's no clean hands and systems built on weaponized waiting at all. Anytime you see something like that, weaponized waiting, someone's making money. Just look for it, right? And then while governments build missiles, you need to build memory. Remember this moment. Name it for yourself. Write down what you saw. What was hidden? Who tried to lie? Right? Because your future children are going to ask, did you know what was happening? And your answer will shape their trust in everything. It's going to be big. Because we need to support the human shields, just functionally. Right? Even in that relationship. Because the truest heroes right now are the doctors who are being bombed in hospitals. Journalists refusing silence. Voices refusing dehumanization. Artists preserving beauty while missiles fall. Find them, amplify them, donate if you can, speak if you can. I'm just saying, because all that doom scrolling is a trap. It's free labor for the industry. Debating as an identity, it makes your ego the battlefield. Binary framing, it prevents metabolizing grief for both sides. This is war. War targets everyone. There's no winners in it. So let's just look at all the grief there, right? Because that's what we need to find, because someone's profiting off that grief, right? And also, all that silence out of fear, that's also a trap, because it sees the story to those who perform the loudest. This is it. Your attention is the currency. Literally, your language is the architecture. This is the catastrophic echo chamber. We're going to make a whole piece on it, but this is how it works. Your presence is the resistance. So even from your phone, you're shaping how this war will be remembered. Right? Big. It'll be big. And that memory may be the only justice some of these victims will ever receive, ever. So please document it the way you can. This is narrative warfare in the exact same way. This could be the clip everything pops off of. This could be the clip it doesn't. But it's important to see what you're looking at. Right? Like it's important to get it. So really, really long piece, but I hope it provided a clear understanding and at least what this actually looks like, because I know it's messy right now.